Honor Society is for anyone that's been through processing the pain of grief or currently in processing the pain of grief. It's a VIP group for anyone who has been in processing the pain of grief or is, they get a lifetime membership to that. It's called Honor Society, and it's at 4:00 today. So that's what's at 4:00. Today at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to be back with the part 2 of this. I'm just going to give you guys a little teaser. We're talking about journaling versus brain dumping and how to get it out. Because we all know, as I've talked to you guys, there's a couple of ways to process your grief. So we can cry, we can talk, we can journal, or we can brain dump. Or you can sit in it. All of these work. All of these will work. Crying, amazing. Removes the energy. It moves energy. Right? Talking helps your brain and your heart come to the same page. It lines you up. The brain and the heart. It helps you. When you hear yourself say the thing, your brain and your heart start to line up. So they start to line up. Journaling lines up your brain and your heart, but you're using all of your senses to get that done. So it is sort of a lineup, but you're also, by using your brain, your heart, your eyes, your handwriting, all of those things, you line everything up. And you move energy. And you get to see it. Journaling fills in a lot of places. Journaling and brain dump both do the same. The brain dump, you do a brain dump more when it's messy. You do a brain dump more when it's messy and you don't know what it is. Brain dump is also for discovery. And sit in it. You just sit in it. It also helps you move. It moves it. This sitting in it is your truth. If you're doing any of these, you're also probably sitting in it. If you've agreed to do any of these, you're probably sitting in it a little bit. So those are all what they do. Okay. When your person dies, your brain does something cruel to you. When your person dies, your brain does something really cruel to you. And that thing that it does is it won't stop. When your person dies, your brain won't stop. Your brain, we have to understand this. Our brain 100% starts to spin on fixing the grief. Because your brain has its own thought. She is broken. Fix this. Fix her. She's broken. Let's fix her. That's where your brain goes. Your brain goes to automatically trying to fix you. Why is your brain trying to fix you? Because your brain thinks it's smart. Your brain thinks it's the smartest tool in the shed. So what tools are in the shed? Let me talk about that real quick. What tools are in the shed? The heart, the lungs, the spine, the kidneys. That's the shed. The brain thinks it is the smartest tool in the shed, and it thinks it can get this figured out. It thinks it can get figured out how you need to move beyond this grief. Do you keep, thank you, Becky. Becky wants to know if you keep brain dumps all together like you do a journal. It all depends on you. I don't. and I'll just tell you why I don't. Because a lot of times I'm just doing this for a brain dump. I just grab an envelope and I'm just like, you could keep a brain dump journal. Monette, can you speak to that, please? Monette is the brain dumping queen. What do you do, Miss Monette? What do you do, Suzanne? Suzanne does a lot. Laura, do you do brain dumps? What do you guys do? Do you keep them all together? I don't. That's not even true. That's not even true. Look at that. I do write a lot in this book. Suzanne says I brain dump all the time and I keep them. Monette, I think Monette, you have a brain dumping book. So yes, I do a lot in here, but I also do a lot here. So I'll get into that too. The brain is spinning. She's broken. I need to fix her. That's what the brain is thinking. So when the brain is thinking that, it's thinking that it needs to fix you. It is also going to spin in different areas in different ways. The thoughts circle. They keep going around. The memories replay. The regrets get louder. The regrets get loud. So it starts hearing all this stuff. It's playing the memories over and over again, right? What if? What if? The what ifs keep coming. And the brain won't shut down because it's cruel. And it thinks this is what you want. And it thinks it is fixing you. And it thinks it is helping you. Here's the other thing about all of this going on. And guys, it's way more than this. Every single time, emotion gets set to our heart. But here's the deal. What if I would have answered the phone? We start spinning on whether I should have answered the phone or not. And we keep thinking this through. So what if, this is the spin. What if I answered? He would have answered. He would say hello. He would come home. He would be safe. You start with one question and then your brain just keeps going. And never once do you even enter the emotion. Thank you, Suzanne. I love you. Never once do you enter the emotion. Because all you're doing, he would be here. All you're doing is breaking down this what if all the way through. And that is this. That's the spin. That's the spin. You also go to a memory. 3rd grade. I dropped him off at school. I'm just making notes. I dropped him. He cried. I yelled, get your butt in that classroom, right? I yelled at him to get his butt in the classroom. Now, he's no longer here, and immediately my brain goes back to something from 1979 that I haven't thought about in years. Think about that. You haven't thought about this memory in years, but now your person dies. You're going through all of this, which was the circumstances of the event, and now your brain goes back to 3rd grade. Now, I yelled at him. Immediately you get to I yelled at him. Can you guys see this? Hold on one second. Immediately you get to I yelled at him. It sends you an emotion. It sends you an emotion, but you don't stay in that emotion. You go back up here and you find another memory. This is grief absolutely driving you crazy. This is grief absolutely driving you crazy. And here's the deal, my friends. Before you get to doing all this shit, you need to slow it down and you need to take a breath. You need to, one, know that this is grief. And this is what grief is going to do for you, because your body has not figured out how to be in this grief. Your body has not figured out how to do this. You can't shut down the what ifs. Your sleep disappears. Your focus goes out the window and you start feeling like you're losing your mind. All of this, look at how messy this is. That's exactly how the grief starts to look. Okay. You are not crazy. You are grieving. I promise you that. You are not crazy. You are grieving. But here's the problem. Grief doesn't politely knock on the door and say, "Excuse me, Miss Becky, may I come in today? May I come in and sit with you for a minute?" Grief isn't going to do that, because that's not what it does. It is going to crash into your life like a wrecking ball. It piles up all at once. And that's exactly why you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., thinking about the funeral program, thinking about the bills that you didn't pay, thinking about the fight that you had with him before he died, thinking about will you ever feel normal again, thinking about your kids, worried about them, worried about what's going on. That's why that ends up that way. That's why the griever ends up at 3 a.m. It's like your head is in a traffic jam with no red lights. It starts spinning on everything that it can. In a way, it is sort of protective, because these jeans are driving me crazy. In a way, it is sort of protective because you're not really feeling all of the emotions all at once. If you were to feel the emotions all at once, you probably would roll up into a ball and fall on the floor in the fetal position. This is where journaling and brain dumping come in. This is where it comes in. I'm not talking about, do you guys remember this? Dear diary, today, this ain't that. This was you in 7th grade. This is not that. That's not what I'm talking about. The entries aren't always neat. They aren't always in your handwriting. Today, ooh, can I even cursive? I went to, I don't even know how to handwrite anymore, to the mall. Right? That's what we used to do in 7th grade. That's what we did in 7th grade. This is not that. I'm talking about survival on paper. I'm talking about you surviving on paper. I'm talking about giving all the chaos in your head somewhere to land, and so that you can stop burrowing holes in your brain. I'm talking about you getting it out. I'm talking about you moving the energy. You moving the negative energy. Could be positive energy, but I'm talking about you moving it. Friends, I want to tell you this, and this is why Monette and Miss Suzanne and Miss Laura are so successful in this. Because they've been doing it, and because they learned how to do it, they can tell when they need to do one. They can tell ahead of time when they need to do one. The pressure starts to build up, and they just need somewhere to land. It just needs somewhere to land. And so the pressure starts to build up, and they know they need to do a brain dump. Here's the other thing that's so amazing, is that when you call me up and you say, "Sharon, I'm struggling with the last day that I went to the apartment." When you tell me that, and you bring me this, when you bring me this mess, you and I can work through it. Because you say to me, and Miss Monette will tell you this, Suzanne will tell you this, Laura will tell you this, what did you discover in your brain dump? I want to know what you did first. What did you do first? Friends, excuse me. I want to guide you through this, but you got to meet me. You doing a brain dump is you meeting me. Number one, it's important for you. It's important for you to do the brain dump. You got to do the brain dump. And then when you bring it to me, I can't even tell you how many times I've been on the phone with Laura, Suzanne, Miss Monette, and they're like, Suzanne, sometimes hers are neat and clean because she's an A student, you guys. She's an A student. And they pull out the brain dump. Or I'll be talking to Suzanne. She's like, I brain dumped that. And she'll pull out the brain dump. And you don't need to show it to me. I don't need to see it. You don't need to send it to me. However, I do have a client and she sends me her brain dumps all the time. Okay. I don't need to see it. You can just pull it out. I want to tell you guys something else. I want you to know something else. While I'm with you, Miss Organization, Miss Goody Tissues, while I'm with you guys, one of the things that happens to me is I get so excited about the grief. I tend to want to jump in when you're talking. One of the things I want to do is share my own story, which I should not be doing. I should never do. Sometimes I'll say, I don't know about you, but when I had that, and I'll share that, and what I learned from it, that's why this is different than therapy, because I'm sharing my experience with you. That's the difference between me and therapy, 100%, is that I share my experience with you. When I'm with you guys, if you're ever in me with a group or in one-on-one, you see me writing a lot. Debbie said it's hard not to jump in. It is, especially when I start loving you guys so much. I just want to fix everything, but that's not my job. A lot of times you guys see me with a pen. You're talking and I'm just writing with the pen. Guess what I'm doing? I'm doing a brain dump. This was yesterday. This is my client at 2:00. I got to pull this back because I don't want you guys looking at it. You won't be able to tell. You'll think I'm crazy. But this is my client at 2:00 yesterday. So yesterday, she's talking to me. She's sharing stuff. Here's the other thing that happens. I start seeing things on the page and I start thinking about things. Right? I start writing things out. Then I can use this to repeat your own words back to you. Not only that, I keep them. If you're working with me and you are in raw grief, I keep them. Yes, I do I am doing this sometimes. But I need this to connect the dots, number one. Number two, come up with questions. Number three, it keeps me from opening up. And it is a brain dump. This is a brain dump. It is dumping while you're talking. Sometimes I'm just writing the words you're saying so that I can see the words that you're saying. One of the things she said yesterday, she said, the world just goes on. I just wrote it down. What does that mean? What does it mean? So when you're with me and you're doing work, you're actually doing the talking portion. That helps make up the connections that we miss. Exactly. It helps me to see it. I'm just really using my senses. You guys, when I tell you, sometimes I'm only writing down goofy stuff, but it's just like, I don't know who this was from. This is from Grief Study Hall. Yep. One of the other things I like to do is I like to ask you your person's name. When I'm working with you, I want to talk in your person's name. So a lot of times I'll be writing their name down so that I'm using their name so that you know that I'm falling in love with them just as much as you love them. You guys don't understand. I love a man named Kale. I love a son named Ashton. I love Gary Dale. Today is his 2-year anniversary. Let's tap the screen for Miss Monette. You guys don't understand. I love a Carol. I love a mom named Carol. I can't name them all, but I try to remember them. I try to use them, and I try to use them for you because you guys don't understand. I fall in love with your people through their stories. And Ian, remember that night I remembered Ian? I still remember Ian. I journal daily and write to Ian daily. Oh, that's awesome. A lot of anger in my writing. Don't forget Maureen. I won't forget Maureen. Funny girl. Thank you, everybody. When you guys tell me their stories, it touches my heart. I want you to know that it touches my heart. And so I am trying to get there with you. And I just know that I told this to my client yesterday because I've been working with her for quite a while. I know that when I get to heaven, I know her mom is going to come and give me a hug. I know that her mom sees me. I know that her mom is going to be like, thank you for helping my baby. And she's just going to give me that hug. And so are a lot of your people. They're all going to see me. They're all going to know me. And here's the other thing. I'm going to know them. I'm going to know them. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm telling you guys the truth. Danny is my son. He loves my farm. He loves me so much. Hey, Miss Cindy, I'm so glad you're sharing them. Everybody, can we tap the screen for Cindy and Danny? For Danny. The most important thing that you can do, I'm sidetracking you guys, but the most important thing you can do for a griever is ask them their person's name. Okay. A brain dump is exactly what it sounds like. It takes every thought out of your head and you dump it onto paper. Tonight, we are going to do brain dumps live. We are going to do brain dumps live tonight in the live, and that's at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am also going to do a dump. I'm going to do a personal dump. We're going to do it tonight at 8 p.m. We're going to do it together. I'm going to give you the prompt. I'm going to lead you through it. There will be no filter. We don't check grammar. I'm the worst speller in the world. I did not go by Hooked on Phonics, but Debbie says, my mom will give you the biggest hug. She sent you one. Danny, they said, Danny, you know my family will be knocking people down to get you. Mike better be riding a motorcycle, and he better be friends with Donovan because they both like motorcycles, and Austin's probably telling him how to fix it. You will love Ian. I will introduce you to him personally. You guys are making me cry. When our day comes, Sharon. Yes. A lot of the work we do is through the relationship. So that's how I'm getting to meet them and know them. And I'm seeing them through your eyes. And there's even times where you guys are really mad at them. And I'm like, well, maybe he didn't mean it. I like try to come to their defense. I'm protecting them. So hold on one second, because I have to check. Okay, there's no comment. Okay. There's no filter, no grammar check, no editing. If your paper looks like a rant mix of a grocery list and your thoughts and the directions and the address and a phone number, then you're doing it right. But I'm going to show you how to do the brain dump tonight. It all belongs on the page. No matter where you are, it all belongs on the page. When I tell you you have nobody around you and you are starting to have a grief storm, grab your piece of paper. Grab your piece of paper and start writing it down. It all belongs on the page. The point is not for you to make sense. A brain dump, I'm going to teach tonight. A brain dump isn't well, we already know it's not a Dear Diary, and it's not this. School, books, pen. That ain't it. That ain't a brain dump. This is a list. I will tell you that a list is not wrong. It is absolutely okay to do a list. So we're going to talk about that tonight too. The point is to stop carrying it all in your brain. A brain dump is exactly what it says. Dump your brain onto the paper. Dump your brain onto the paper. A brain dump is relief. It is unclogging your brain. It is unclogging your brain so your thoughts can actually move. So the energy can move. Your brain is wired to look for danger. Your person dies. Your brain doesn't just take the hit and move on. it rewires itself around the loss. It starts scanning constantly for danger. Hear me out, you guys. I want you to understand this because a lot of you are doing it. A lot of you are doing it. You're grieving. This pen. So, you're grieving mom. You're grieving mom. You're grieving mom, and this feels bad. And it's sad. And you feel broken. Those are all the things you know to be true about yourself. Grief is happening in your heart. It's not happening in your brain. It's happening in your heart. But your brain, 100% in the midst of rewiring, is now looking for grief. The brain is looking for grief. So it almost looks like this. The brain is looking for the grief. It's looking everywhere that it can find grief. So let me show you this. Watch this. Oh my gosh, that's a gray marker. That's a gray marker with a black top. My mom had a gray marker with a black top. She loved that marker. I remember she loved that marker. You touch anything, and it all of a sudden, oh, green Post-its. My mom had green Post-its. You guys, I'm not making fun. This is the truth. This is your brain. It takes everything it has, and it starts to look for grief. Oh, there's the picture of him. Oh, I remember that day. It starts looking for grief. And the whole time that it's looking for grief, it is causing this chaos in your brain. It is looking for, it's not only looking for grief, it's looking for evidence of grief. Your brain has become the detective, and it's become the grief detective. And it is looking everywhere for the grief. Everywhere you go, you find the grief. Everywhere you go, you see grief. You see brokenness. You see a broken heart. If you don't do anything with this, it starts to build up here. And then you get to here, and it's cut off, and you cannot breathe. It doesn't move. This doesn't move. It becomes so much, you cannot get it out. That's when we do the brain dump. That's when you know it's time to do the brain dump. Oh, Miss Bonette, she said, and make a dump from the dump. Okay, I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to put that in tonight. Okay, when your person dies, your brain doesn't just take the hit and move on. Oh, Austin's not here. Let me go live my life. No, it rewires itself around the loss. It starts scanning constantly for the danger. It starts looking for the grief. Your brain goes into survival mode. Your brain was built to keep you alive, not to keep you comfortable. And grief feels like danger. It feels like danger to the nervous system. It feels like a threat. So your brain goes on high alert. Inspector Clouseau's that you are. Think about it. You're walking through your day and suddenly you hear a song. You smell that perfume. You smell roses. You see a couple holding hands. You see a couple holding hands. You see an old lady in the grocery store with blue eyes. Instantly, your stomach drops. Your chest tightens up. Your brain says, warning, 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 pain ahead, pain ahead, pain ahead. Don't go that way. That's not weakness. That's grieving. That is grieving intellectually through your brain. That is your brain being wired, rewired. The amygdala part of your brain that scans for threats doesn't know the difference between a car speeding at you and a memory of a person not being here. They both will send fear to your heart. To your body, both of them set off alarms. And both of them demand attention. To your body, both of them set off alarms. One of them, you need to get your butt out of the way. The second one, you need to do a brain dump. They both demand attention. That's why you feel like you can't breathe in the grocery store. That's why you feel like you panic when the calendar flips to their birthday. That's why 3 weeks before the anniversary of their death, you become sick. You go to the ER. You can't do your homework. You can't show up for your class. You don't know what's wrong with you. You can't put a finger on it. And then all of a sudden, you realize your body remembered 3 weeks before your brain even remembered. No disrespect, but that was an amazing example. Your brain is doing exactly what it was wired to do. It is looking for danger. Your brain knew danger was coming. It knew the danger was coming today. And it takes a while for it to register. You guys, when I tell you that happens so many times, people are, I'm like talking to them, they're like, something's wrong. I don't know, Sharon, something's wrong. Something's off. I just can't get it. Something's off. I've been crying. I'm sad. I'm this, I'm that. We just start talking. I just start throwing questions out. What'd you do yesterday? When did this start? When did you first feel it? What were you thinking? Why were you thinking that? Why is this going like that? I just throw questions out. And then all of a sudden, the brain releases this thought that it holds all the way back here that you're not listening for, that you didn't even know was there. And it says, tomorrow's the anniversary of his death. It whispers it. Tomorrow's the anniversary of his death, and it's going to be a hard day. The brain fog is there to protect you from that. So the brain fog gets louder. You start getting forgetful, and you got this confusion going on. You have exhaustion that no amount of sleep will fix. You are anxious, you're irritable, because your nervous system never gets a break. You never get a break. And it's not that you're failing, it's that your brain is stuck in a survival mode. What happens if you don't really understand this? This is part of the definition of grief. If you don't know your brain is wired this way, how do you even start to move on and go after the grief? You start thinking that something's wrong with you. Why can't I just move on? I don't understand. Of course, first of all, you should never be just moving on, but that's the question in here. Why do I panic over the smallest things? Why do I freak out every time I see green Post-its? Why does grief keep hijacking me over and over again out of nowhere? But there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is trying to protect you. It's overprotecting you. But that's what grief does. It makes your system go on permanent watch. It makes your brain go on permanent watch looking for grief danger. You're looking for grief danger. And let me tell you something that's really exhausting. Looking for grief danger over and 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 over again. That's why grief is so exhausting. So what do we do with this? You cannot bully your brain out of survival mode. You can't. You can't tell it, calm down, and expect it to listen. Miss Suzanne says we have to try and stay in the moment. We have to stop looking far ahead. Yes. Because what is in the future but fear and brokenness? I have a panic attack every Saturday night at 11:39, the day and time my husband died. Okay. Angela, at 11:39. Okay, first of all, thank you, my love. At 11:39, you have set an internal alarm. You've set an internal alarm. You have set an internal alarm. You marked the time and date. Perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. I have a panic attack every Saturday night at 11:39. So your brain set the alarm. And it goes off at 11:39 and it starts to make you panic. What is happening is you're reliving 11:39. Your brain is looking for the danger of 11:39. It knew that at 11:39 something happened. It knew that something happened on April 6th, 4/6/25. Danger happened. And it marked it. Your brain marked it. Saturday night, this Saturday, you need to be prepared with a pencil and paper. You need to be prepared with a pencil and paper. Please come tonight, Miss Angela, because we're going to teach you how to do a brain dump. But this Saturday night at 11:39, I want you to have a piece of paper and a pencil. You guys, I always say pencil. I want you to have a piece of paper and a pencil. At 11:39, as soon as the anxiety attack starts, here's your paper, okay? I don't want you to start until the anxiety starts. Once the anxiety starts, I want you to do this. I want you to write 11:39 right in the middle of the paper. I want you to write 11:39 right in the middle of the paper. And then I want you to start writing everything about that 11:39 means to you. I hate it. I suck. It sucks. You took him. I hate you. I hate this earth. I don't want to be here anymore. I can't live. Whatever. I don't know what you're going to write. But this is what you're going to write. And then you're going to dump everything out of your brain that has to do with 11:39. And you're going to see if anything at 11:39 bounces off the page at you. It might be small. It might be big. But it's right here. It's in here. Your brain marked the date, and now it sees it as danger, and it keeps bringing you back there. So we got to get it out. We got to move it. We got to get it out. And that's what you're going to do. I hope that helps. Come tonight, because we're going to do this tonight. Why do we wake up 3 a.m. every morning? Same reason. Are you waking up? Sometimes we're waking up because we had a dream. Sometimes we're waking up because we had a dream. Hold on one second. I'm going to answer the questions. Let me just finish this last sentence. You bully your brain. You can't bully your brain out of it. Miss Angela cannot tell her brain not to do it. It's going to do it, right? You can't tell it to calm down because it ain't going to listen. You have to name it. You have to ground yourself. You have to write it out. And you have to practice grief time. When you're doing a brain dump, you are practicing your grief time. You set aside moments to face it without letting it stalk you every Saturday at 11:39. You have to tell the truth. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing its job. It doesn't know that the danger has already happened and it's over. It's the worst thing that already came. It's the worst thing possible has already happened to you, and it already came and passed. The brain is also going back there because it remembers it. It remembers it, right? There's healing in this. There's healing in this, but we don't know what it is. This is so helpful because here's the deal, friends. I can't get into your brain and pull out the information. I can't get in there and pulling out the information. Healing means retraining your brain to stop scanning for grief. Like it's a lion on the attack. And part of the healing is going after what's in the brain and getting it out. If you don't dump that out, what's going to happen? Okay. If you guys don't clean out that bag in the vacuum cleaner, what happens? First of all, what is that crap? What's that gray, soft, furry crap that's in the vacuum cleaner? It's shit. You got to get the shit out. You got to get it out. By going in there and doing the brain dump or journaling, we're emptying out the bag. We're emptying out the vacuum cleaner bag so more stuff can come in. As more stuff comes in, we learn more. Okay. Why? Because It is layered. The grief is layered. 1139 lives right here. You've got to go through this 1139 to figure out what your brain and your body's trying to tell you so that you can go to grief. You can go to pain. You can go to broken. I'm making this up. I don't know. 1139. What is 11? Angela, what is your husband's name? Can you tell us his name, please? Please tell us his name. Everybody, can we tap the screen? Angela, my heart to yours, love. I can't even imagine what it's like. Jim. Everybody, let's tap the screen for Angela and Jim. My heart to yours. Okay. Deborah. Coming to Deborah. Okay. When we do this, we call this, moving this, is called the courage to grieve. When you grab that piece of paper and you do a brain dump, you're doing it from courage because you're not allowing the grief to scare you anymore. You're not allowing the grief to scare the shit out of you anymore. You're willing to take a look at it. It's also what we talked about last night. It's acknowledging. You acknowledge that you're a griever and you're willing to take a look at it. Your brain is screaming, and slowing down and looking at it is where it's going to start to change. All right, friends. One of the places that we do this the most is in Grief Study Hall. We do Grief Study Hall every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you would like to join Grief Study Hall, it is a community outreach. Go to the link in my bio. Click on my picture if you're on TikTok. Click on my picture again, and then click on the link that says click here for hope. When you click on the click here for hope, you will see a whole bunch of stuff in there. And one of those things is Grief Study Hall. Sign up for Grief Study Hall. If you're new here and you haven't done it yet, if you haven't done it, Debbie, I'm making you laugh. Sorry, I'm making myself laugh over here. If you're new here and you haven't done it yet, when you go into the click here for hope, I want you also to click on the free download of That Grief Shit. That Grief Shit is a free ebook that I have put together, and I don't have it in here. I'll bring it tonight. And it has 9 training videos in there. One of the training videos in there is the brain dump. It's how to do the brain dump. I'm going to be teaching how to do the brain dump tonight live. I'm going to teach journaling. I'm going to have some journal prompts, and I'm going to teach how to do the brain dump tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time in Grieve That Shit. Tonight is Grieve That Shit. It's at 8 o'clock. I want to see you guys there. If you want to go to Grief Study Hall, that's where you do it. If you're in the Facebook group and you want to click the link in the bio that says Beacons AI, you can join us every Tuesday. And if you're ready to take it deeper, you've got to download That Grief Shit, the book that tells you the truth about grief and what your brain is doing to you. Talking about shit in the vacuum. It all of a sudden came to me. I think I vacuumed. Well, yeah, Friday's my vacuum day, but I vacuumed last Friday. I got to tell you guys this, with the 3-year-old twins trying to help me. Do you need to register for tonight? No, ma'am, you do not. You do not. You do not need to register for tonight. It's going to be live on TikTok and the Facebook group. I'm going to be teaching it right here. I'm going to be teaching brain dump. Please come with pencil and paper. Come with pencil and paper because we will do some brain dumps. I'm going to figure out how to give you guys some journal prompts. I'm going to post them in the Facebook group. I'm going to create some journal prompts and I'm going to post them in the Facebook group. I'm going to post them under, I'm going to create them under different titles. New to grief, grief over 6 months, anxious, waking up at 3 a.m. So I'm going to give you some different prompts. Debbie, I'm not ignoring you. All right, Facebook, YouTube, thank you. We love you. We'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock.